First try, look at that.
Really important. You can do it.
I know you always wanted one of your own.
I know.
I have a little miniature one in my office if you want it.
Yeah.
You can have it.
I really don't care. So.
Feels a lot less powerful when it's
Yeah.
when the gavel's this big.
All right, 4 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order. Bonnie, can we do roll call?
Mark Dennis. Rachel Mellon.
Here.
Bonnie Good, here. Tim Harden.
Here.
JJ Reinhardt. And John Kelly.
Here.
Okay, did everybody have a chance to review the minutes from the last meeting? Can I get a motion to approve those?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Assume, Mayor, there's no public hearing?
No public hearings, no old business. New business would be O'Brien Street bond.
Okay. Would Main Street fall into old business, or?
Probably.
Okay.
Miscellaneous business.
Okay.
So we can talk about finance first.
Okay, let's talk about finance first. So, new business, O'Brien Street bond. I guess, Mark sent the email of the meeting that he and I had with, the mayor, and there were some changes that you should have seen on the financials this time. The Ready grant is back out of there, so that's probably the biggest thing, right, Matt? And so basically the discussion that we had came down to, we could do status quo and probably make it, and there would be some ways if we needed to on some projects to borrow some money for a short amount of time from I think you said the sewer department, was that correct?
So there's pieces of the project that could fall under the sewer department as well. You already mentioned the ready dollars finally being eligible for reimbursement, which is a little over $1 million, which changes the numbers tremendously. Other items that we discussed though were CCMG 26. The city was not awarded, so that's $1.6 million back out of the plan for 26. I was going to ask you about it later, but 2027, the total award would be $1 million again. So I'd ask you guys for the 1.1 on that in 27. We will apply for that in July. I think July 1st is the deadline of 26 on that one. It'll take them a few months to review it, plus 90 days to mobilize once it's all said and done. So you wouldn't more than likely have any expenses coming out until the 27 calendar year anyway. So that's going to change the numbers anyway. 2025, the city committed the $1.2 million to CCMG. That still left a few $100,000 on the table for you guys, which I know in 25 you have put about $200,000, which possibly was part of 24's numbers though. So there's just lots of variables floating around out there as to whether or not you need it. And then when you get to the bottom dollar, when you look at page 8 of your report, you're in the positive at the end of this year with using conservative numbers. So it may be a little better than that even by the time you get to the first report of 26 and we've got everything reported. So
Basically the discussion that we had boiled down to, we could bond something now and it would give us more flexibility to do other things for 26 and honestly really 27 too. I mean the number right now, the end of year balance is 344. There's not a lot of wiggle room in the 27 year either. It'd be 28 before the budget opened back up really with that. So it's, and Mark and I kind of thought that delaying the decision until it had to be made was a better course of action. You know, I mean, And if there was something that came along that we needed it, then we could talk about bonding O'Brien and Cole. Is the O'Brien, we could bond at any point in time, like the remaining portion, and even go backwards for part of it. Is that accurate?
Yes, if I remember right, the rules for soft costs can go back however far, and then for hard costs is 60 days back,
Okay.
60-day look back, I believe.
So you could bond some portion of it at almost any point, right? I mean, like of what was go forward if you decided to. I mean, again, that was just Mark and I's feeling at the time. I don't, I'm not saying, there's some positives of having just doing it now and having the flexibility that you can do something if it came up. But there's no immediate need we have to meet, I guess, right now that would require it, so. But it definitely will hamstring what we can do with new requests in the next 2 years probably, if we don't do anything.
I'm in agreement with waiting and not just going ahead and doing something now for lots of reasons, but let's see if we need it and have to take those steps like you mentioned. But also, I think just doing it so we can fund other things is not a good way of doing business either. I believe we ought to be able to fund what we're doing without having to bond some smaller grant requests and things, sort of like borrowing money to pay something else.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on, there's lots of things there, I mean, because what got presented last month, there was $2 million in interest that we would pay. So, that's $2 million that we don't have to spend on something else later on down the road. So,
Right.
There's certainly some wisdom there to not do that. But does anybody else have any other comments or at this time or?
I agree with you as well.
Okay. All right, well, I think that is, I don't think we need to have a motion since we're not doing anything, is just table that for now. And Cole, since you're there, if you want to talk about the financial report.
Yeah, let's do it. I will go ahead and start on page 8 for you guys on the full report we send out. And, the stuff that you guys just talked about is all reflected in here with Eastside Industrial, with O'Brien, and CCMG. We, for CCMG, have just put a projected amount you have left to pay on design things for CCMG 2025. Eastside Industrial Project is kind of back to the normal plan now with $2 million in ready getting approved, so it's going to be about $1 million this year, $1 million next. And then we have updated amounts for Second and O'Brien. Got the last round of claims in for this year on those, so I carried over the differences in what we'd projected this year and what was actually spent, carried those over into next year for those projects. I was able to close out a couple of things for this year and start kind of getting this close to what it'll look like come year end. It's not completely finalized yet. Will be, of course, in January. I got December settlements in for each of the TIF funds this round. For each of the allocation areas, they all were over what we projected, so good news there. And just kind of a reminder on cash. Technically we are projecting to end in the positive come the year end in 26 and 27. Just to give you guys a monthly look at page 6 there, just to kind of show with our projections how things could get pretty tight and maybe into the red, come between June and December settlements next year. But like you guys said, we can wait and see with regards to the bonding and whatnot. But do you guys have any questions on any of the updates on this report?
I don't have. Does anybody else have any questions? Okay. Thank you, Cole.
Thanks.
Claims. Did everybody have a chance to review the claims docket for this month? there any questions?
Did have a question on some of the invoices that come in. They have an amount and then it's handwritten in, like so much is going to RDC and so much to other departments. So is it just the amount RDC that is applying here, or do you put the total on our?
Are you talking like the JSE, for example, where it says so much RDC, so much NDOT?
Mm-hmm.
So if you look on the docket, on the right-hand column, I have that NDOT amount. But those don't come out of TIF, those come out of grant holding, because that's the money that we're gonna get back from them. So only the part that says RDC is the part that actually comes out of the TIF dollars. And down at the bottom, you'll see a total, there's an RDC total plus a grant total, then an overall, only that RDC is all that actually comes out of TIF.
Okay.
I can leave the other part off, but I just think it's nice to see that that's the matching funding, we're getting for our dollars.
No, I prefer to have the matching there. Just, I was seeing some different charges there from some of the engineering and things to like planning and zoning and some other engineering to DPW. And we had a question last month about how some of that was being accounted for and who was keeping track of those types of things. So I was just wanting to clarify if those parts and pieces were being pulled out of that.
The Gonzalez accounts are coming out of TIF. I think, Chad, maybe you've looked into that some to answer that question for you.
I've actually went through this docket. I'm not completed yet, but I'm going line by line and going through everything as far as what. And I talked to Cole here too about it, this last week. Sorry, I should probably approach. We talked about it last week a little bit, as I was going through them and stuff, but, trying to get everything to relate to road work. So I know in the past, I think everything had went to you guys years and years back. So if there is anything in there, there may be, we'll deal with that, but I'm not all the way through just this month's, that is in front of you right now, but I do have that all printed out and I'm going through it. So far so good, but I'm not through everything either though, so. Okay. And when Bernie comes back, I've got a couple questions for him too, on a couple of them. Yeah.
Thank you for doing
We
that
did
and
hear
following up
you
with
and
it.
we are looking into it, but
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions? If not, can I get a motion to approve the claims as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve them.
I'll second.
Second. Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, miscellaneous business, Main Street.
Hello. I just wanted to follow up with you guys, see if you guys had any questions from the presentation last month. I sent over, after the presentation, our 2025 budget and our proposed 2026 budget, as well as all of the grants that have been paid out to date. So, is there any questions or follow-up that you guys had for Main Street?
The one list that we got showing some payouts started in August 25.
Yes.
Is that your fiscal year or?
No, the grant cycle was just pushed back this year due to the change in director and
Okay.
our starting our grant cycle. So the first payout was August 8th. Is that what you're looking at?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we still have a few grants to pay out for this year as well.
Okay. And we had mentioned, which we got partway there about who it was paid to and what property, but we had also asked for a brief description of the type of grant or payment, what it was going towards, whether that was roof replacement or a maintenance type of thing. 'Cause I know there was one that was like rent reimbursement, that type of thing. So there was a couple we got, but there were several that didn't have any type of description on it.
Okay.
So I would like to see something in regards with that.
Okay. I have all that information. I can send that to you as well, so.
Darren, is the 153,095 on the build out grants, is that the final number you expect to pay on this grant cycle, or?
For 2025 grant year, yes.
Okay.
But you said you had a few still left to pay out?
This is what has been awarded for this year, yeah.
And there are no other outstanding
Mm-mm.
applications or anything out there for
Correct.
25? But that's almost 100,000 short of what we had given you. Is there, I mean, I guess,
Yep.
is that a function of just the director change, or what's the?
So, I guess what had happened this year, we had allocated 100,000 to our real estate projects, which was 120 West 2nd Street and 2 Don's Dugout. And then 250,000 were to the grants. And, we kind of are hoping for larger grant projects in 2026. We know of 5 to 6 of those big projects that are already happening. One of those is going to be 120, which is a building that we're in the process of selling. So we had kind of reserved some of those funds just in case we needed to allocate more grant funding in 26.
And what about the 100,000 for the real estate projects?
Yeah, so we used that to put a new roof on 120, as well as the cleaning out of 120, and we are still in the process of trying to get the liens removed on Don's Dugout. So some of those funds have went towards legal fees, attorney. We're in the process of discussing with the liaison at Erin Hounchin's office to see if she can help us move the process along a little bit quicker, so.
Am I looking at this correctly, that about 45 has been spent of the 100 then on the two?
For the real estate?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
We're very hopeful in 26 that we will get the liens removed and we can start the clean out process on Don's Dugout, so.
Do you have estimates for like how much that's going to be at this point?
Not yet.
Okay.
The clean out process for 120 was about 29,000, so we know that's going to be tremendously higher for Don's Dugout.
Okay.
I know you're getting acclimated to all this, but has the vision for Main Street changed any? Is it staying the same as far as what your goals and focus are long-term? I mean, I guess more specifically, I know we're revitalizing downtown, but some people view it, we need to save all the old buildings and do everything we can there, which costs thousands of dollars, versus some people say we can rebuild downtown in a historical way to do some different things. I didn't know if the vision itself of what you all were looking at has changed any, or?
I wouldn't say it's changed. I think we definitely are wanting to focus on revitalizing downtown, whether that be through our grant process and help as many business owners, building owners that we can with that. I think we would like to grow our grants for sure.
When you were here last month, you mentioned on 120 that you may have somebody interested. Has
Yes.
that progressed any further? Or?
Yes, we will be closing by the end of the year.
Okay.
So.
And I guess did that, I mean, I know that part of the money went into the building and then you had to pay to purchase the building. Like, are you going to be, I mean, net negative, net positive?
No, we will not be making money on the building.
Okay. Losing a little, losing a lot, or?
Losing roughly around 40,000.
Okay.
We did have several people look at the building, and we're really excited. We asked for business plans. We wanted to know what their intent was for the building, so we're really excited for the buyer.
Okay.
And what they'll be bringing.
How long do you think it'll be before there's a business there?
They will be starting on renovation as soon as they close. I would say hopefully within next year was his timeline.
Okay.
So.
Good. Anyone else have any questions or any other discussion? Someone want to make a motion on what we want to do
You mean as far as the request for the
Yeah.
250 plus 100?
or something, amending that, or, I mean, it could be anything. We need to.
I didn't know if we needed to table that for, if Mark and JJ had asked to table that, or we'll discuss it now.
I mean, it does, I guess, I know that since there is money left over, right, from both, I would assume that finding out next month versus this month would probably not be a huge impact as far as that goes.
We are opening our grant cycle in January 12th, I believe. So it's not like we're going to be awarding grants in January,
Right.
but
I would like to table it and have some more discussion, just overall direction where we're going with funding and, along with our present case of,
Sure. Our next meeting is the
reserves.
26th, so I mean, that would get you 2 weeks after your grant process opened, an answer. Well, I mean, I think we can agree to that we would be able to have an answer by then, don't you think?
I think so, and I would feel better about tabling it just with our current financial situation and, the discussion about Main Street. I think that it'd be nice to have the other members here too.
Okay.
So, you want to make a motion to table it?
Sure.
Okay, I'll make a motion to table this discussion until next month.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Okay, motion carries. All right.
thank you.
Thanks, Darren. All right. Any other miscellaneous business?
Yep, you got all kinds tonight.
Oh, wow. Thank you here.
Since you tabled that one, I'm gonna bring this one up. So CCMG 26, I mentioned earlier that you, will not have the 1.6 million draw in 26 that was budgeted in. So I had Reedy go ahead and take that number to 0 in the forecast. So when you look at page 8, it is not there. But for 2027, historically, you guys have been the supporting partner to help us get those CCMG grants. So for 27, my ask would be 1.1 million. So we can ask for 100% again. Obviously, we may only get awarded 100,000, we may get awarded $1 million. It just depends on what the state has. Right now, the state has 100 million a year to work with, down from last year's 250-ish million, and I say ish because it was always somewhere right around that number. So they will have less to work with in the future. So I would ask that you guys approve 1.1 million for 2027 CCMG. So I'm asking you a year ahead of time minimum, but in all reality, it's more like a year and a half ahead. So
And Matt, when would that money actually get spent then, most of it?
So if we apply in July of 26, it'll take a few months before they make any announcements. Once they make the announcements, then we have to get a contractor under contract, and then they'll have 90 days from that point. So I would guess that you won't see anything until the spring construction cycle of 27. If you saw anything in 26, it might be some engineering fees in the fall, but I think it would be more likely that you would see the major piece of that in 27. Melissa, correct me if I'm wrong, though, CCMG is one where NDOT sends us the amount, and then it pays down from there?
Correct, yeah, they send us the money at the beginning.
So you guys realistically wouldn't see anything until 27 then, so.
And Cole, that's reflected in this on page 8?
Yep.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions?
I'll make a motion that we do this.
I'll second.
Second? Okay. All those in favor, say aye.
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 Excuse me, aye.
You okay?
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay, now I'm gonna turn it over to ERC Chad Dixon, who's going to tell you about money you're getting back, and then ask you for part of it for a project.
So, about a year ago or so, when we closed out the bypass, we did request for them to look into it and get us some money back. I actually had forgotten about it, and all of a sudden I get an email, I'm like, so I had asked the state, hey, what's going on here? Cause I'm not exactly sure what happened, but maybe they heard us then and it's just taken that long, I'm not sure, but, long story short, due to closing the other jobs, we had a refund of $154,666.83 coming to us.
154?
$154,666.83. That we'll probably see that mid-January, mid-February, before it comes back through. So, and I don't know how we have to receipt that in, but that's money you guys paid in. So, by all rights, it needs to come to you. So, and thank you for investing and everything. But saying the 154,000, right? I don't know if anybody has noticed or not, but 4th and O'Brien Street, we're having a lot of issues with that stoplight. Or did I say? Oh, whoops. 4th and Burkhardt. Sorry. Wow. If we continue the route we're headed, just based on last quarter's, we'll probably spend about $12,000 annually just for maintenance of it, for people to come out and, because it goes in a loop and I can't do it. It's beyond me. They have the software to actually restart it because it gets jammed up and you can reset, you can do everything, but it does not go back. At one point in time, it blacked out for a second when it phased through, and that was scary. It's only like a half second, you know what I mean? But still, when it happens, you cringe a little bit. But I was curious, wanted to ask up to $50,000 to upgrade the cabinet there with all the goodies inside. So that would stop it from having the issues we're having and take our maintenance costs down to almost nothing. So we already have the technology there for like the camera system and stuff like that. We've upgraded already through town. We've got it there as well. So.
Couple questions. The 154 that's coming back, is that total on the project what's coming back to the city, and the RDC will only be getting part of it, or is that total 154 coming back to the RDC?
I assume that's RDC's money, right?
Okay.
Yeah, anything that comes out of RDC, we send back to RDC.
Right.
I just wasn't sure how they were looking at it, so I want to make sure of that. Second thing is, since the county has some responsibility there with Burkhardt also, will it be an option to look to them for part of the expense to upgrade, or?
We could ask, but they won't go with it. I really don't think they will. Their main objective is the deck of the overpass. As far as anything, the roadway and everything else is still us, and traffic control devices as well. But I mean, I could ask if that's what y'all want. I mean,
Well,
if that's what
you know more about the workings of that. That's why I just wanted to see if that was an option or not. But the 150, is that going to replace the cabinet and all the inner workings? Is it to do with the signals themselves, or?
I can replace the cabinet for $50,000. So I think that's around $20,000 to $25,000 for the cabinet and the guts, and then
time and materials after that.
So you're only looking about 50,000. You're
Right.
getting 154 back, but you're looking at 50,000.
50.
Yeah, just for, I'm not gonna redo the cabinet, like the lights and all that stuff for that, but, at least to be operational.
And how old is the current setup?
Oh, Lord. Well, that's original when they built Burkhardt, I assume.
Oh, okay,
So
So it's been there for a while.
yeah, it's definitely outdated, but
okay.
Any other questions?
that's all I really have.
When would that payout need to happen?
No, it won't be till spring.
I'll make a motion to approve that expenditure.
Second?
Second. Okay, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you all.
Anything else?
That was all the miscellaneous I had.
Okay. Any other business comes before the commission, Diane? Okay, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Okay, motion, meeting adjourned.
Better time than last month.
First time I turned the stuff on. First time I turned the stuff on.
Do they still have, is DR still working for them?
Yeah.